I don't want to waste any more time here.
No.
But do you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Richardson's confession. Lorraine Marguerite Jacob was last seen walking alone along Pilgrim Street towards Hardman Street about 11 p.m. on Tuesday, September 1st, 1970. She left the Russell Street home she shared with her mother, 14th-month-old daughter, Karen, and baby Tony, and was seen drinking in Yates Wine Lodge in Great Charlotte Street at 9 p.m. Miss Jacob was seen again in a Chinese chip shop in Great George Street at 10:20 p.m.
This is a badass night so far.
Yeah,
She was like at the wine lodge. I want to got some chips.
What city is this in again?
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Okay.
September 1st, 1970.
September 1st.
Lorraine, why don't you go get some chips? It's those kids from that other episode.
I've just come from the wine lodge.
Miss Jacob was seen again in a Chinese chip shop in Great George Street at 10:20 p.m. before walking up Upper Duke Street. It is thought that she met her death soon after being seen for the last time in Pilgrim Street. A home office pathologist had put an estimated time of death around midnight and no later than 1:30 a.m. Miss Jacob was just 19 when she was found dead at around 8 a.m. on September 2nd, 1970 in Liverpool City Centre.
She was found in the center of the city?
Liverpool City Centre. I'm assuming it's like a little
square.
Square,
like a district.
yes.
Piazza.
Her body had been dumped in an alleyway, battered and strangled, and discovered by binmen, so trashmen. She was in an alleyway, and they were just getting the trash, and they discovered her.
Jesus Christ.
She was unmarried and the mother of two, a baby son and a daughter. Officers investigating her murder took more than 900 statements and put out 3,500 questionnaires around pubs, clubs, and homes. No one ever discovered what had happened to her. There were no suspects, no persons of interest, no reason for her murder. Her family did not get any closure until almost 40 years later.
So this was like a very well-publicized case.
Yes. So that happened in 1970. In February of 2008, a 77-year-old retired librarian, Harvey Richardson, passed away in a hospice in Aspel near Wigan. He had been described by family members and neighbors as a true gentleman, very quiet unless you got him talking about different languages and cultures.
Then he was super racist.
Just don't bring it up. Just don't bring it up.
Well, I believe.
Yeah, but with a British accent.
Well, I believe.
There you go. That sounded like a kind of big-headed
that was
British
Harvey
guy.
Richardson right there. He had two daughters who took care of him in his old age until he fell gravely ill with bowel cancer, and he was moved to a local hospice to live out his remaining days. After his death, workmen went through his belongings at his house in Wigan, and they discovered a suitcase. Inside was a detailed 9-page handwritten confession to the murder of Lorraine Jacob in black ink.
You have to be kidding me.
9 pages?
9-page confession.
He really got into detail.
He did.
Angela, are there any passages about like the person called L? Is there anything vague, like vague booking on there, like on this confession, or no?
No, he described the whole thing.
Oh my God, that's worse.
Wow.
And with the note was a collection of press cuttings relating to the murder and a pair of blue knickers which belonged to Miss Jacob and were missing when her body was found.
Knickers are
Underwears. Bloomers, right?
Yeah.
Well, bloomers
Go over
we
the
talked about
underwear.
this. This is the bloomers go over the underwear. So she
knickers
was wearing
are
bloomers?
like pants.
So like they're like the
That explains so much. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That Michael Winslow moment really just tied it together for me.
Oh, okay, knickers, yeah.
The decorators also uncovered an antique air pistol and called in the Cheshire Police. Cheshire? The Cheshire Police?
Cheshire?
Cheshire? Cheshire?
Cheshire Cat.
Yeah.
I think they're both right.
Cheshire.
Okay. When detectives went through the confession, it revealed in great detail how Miss Jacob died and, more importantly, why. Paper age analysis points to the letter being written and sealed in the envelope marked private and confidential shortly after the murder.
Wow.
In this letter, Richardson explained he spent the day of September 1st, so that was the day that she died, getting drunk because he failed his librarianship exams.
This what? Come on!
That is ridiculous. So he
It's a
started off
sad
the
day in a
day.
man's life when he fails his librarianship
No shit.
exams.
What does it take, man? Just like study.
Maybe he doesn't know
Dewey
how to
Decibel's a
alphabetize.
bitch, man.
Thank you. Yeah,
Well,
Dewey's
we learned it as children. I could
course you did, but
effectively
then-
navigate the
but then-
library as a child.
But then, like 30 years later,
He's trying to be a librarian.
I understand that. So he decided him failing being a librarian was the ultimate end all, and
He
he's
had a
going to get
bad
drunk.
day. He spent the whole day just hopping from pub to pub.
Oh, God.
Just upset because he failed his librarianship
That's a man
exams.
daddy bender right there.
Hey, where? We're going to go
Daddy
on one?
ass.
Come on.
Let's do it. Let's do this.
Well, what was his job already if he had enough money to just pub hop all day because he was sad?
He was a
probably
student.
fine.
He was a student.
Student loans.
Student loans. He
He's
was
living
just
off
drinking
these,
on
going
it.
to pints on that.
Trust fund drinking.
As the day turned to night, he stumbled up Upper Duke Street to meet women friends, thought to be a reference to prostitutes. Shortly after 11 p.m., he spied Miss Jacob. As I approached her, she became quite startled, he wrote, and then he snapped. She was clutching 3 bags of chips, as we call fries. She had bought after a night out and was making her way home. He walked with Miss Jacob, who obviously didn't want him near her, and before a row began, he choked her.
So he was stalking her. It was a public stalking. She obviously was not okay with that.
Correct.
And then he started accosting her.
Yeah, basically he had was walking up to women. He'd been drinking all day. He's in this place,
right?
And he wanted to talk to a girl, and she was not having it.
And he couldn't read signals because he's
Creepy
from Liverpool.
AF, right?
Absolutely.
He's been on this bender, right?
Yeah, so he's been drinking all day.
So I'm going to throw this out there, and no one's going to know, but I just maybe if a listener knows,
Throw
let
it
us
out
know.
there. Throw it out
You
the
said
there.
earlier it was a Chinese chip shop,
Chinese chip shop.
and then you said chips are fries to
Right.
British people. What is a Chinese fry?
I thought the exact same thing. So
Really?
I was
Did-
curious.
did you
because-
really?
Is there
I'm
a
dead
five
serious
spice on
because,
it? Is
Yeah,
it
that's
like-
I want to know. I was like, wait a minute.
I don't know.
Maybe
It's
it just sounds good, or maybe
sounds
it's terrible.
Owned by a Chinese
And they just-
person.
Why make the distinction?
All I'm saying is food field trip.
the police maintain that it was not a sexual attack because he was just drunk, but he took Lorraine's blue knickers
Right.
and her brown tights and her purse.
It's interesting.
I mean, yeah, it seems like there was something sexual going on there. Yeah,
At least a little bit, yeah.
I have a feeling that he was walking around that area, and because there were other prostitutes around, that he probably just maybe assumed she was,
And violently
and
attacked
was
her and
was
stole
kind
her
of
panties?
assuming that she would bite, because he was,
And then he was upset.
and then he got mad because she
'Cause it
didn't, and then
most-
attacked her.
I mean, everyone learns eventually that most hookers don't have snacks. And so the fact that she had the chips would be like, okay, no, that's not a hooker. She's got snacks.
Wow.
And so
That's
yeah,
just
it'd be like,
advanced. That's advanced hooker craft right there. If you can spot the fact.
well, have you
that
ever,
she's got-
seriously, has a hooker ever come up to you and been like, snacking on a chicken wing and be like, you want a party? No.
No, that's never
The
happened.
hookers
they
make
do
you
not
take
come-
them to get snacks.
Right.
I mean, I hear. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me rewind.
Let me rewind.
I've
Tracy.
seen TV shows that explain that hookers don't have snacks. And so it should have been obvious to him, is my point all along, because of the TV shows I've seen on documentary channels about hookers and snacks.
Absolutely.
Riveting.
It was. Thank you.
So I have this theory, though, that because he had all the clippings of the murder, and they didn't know each other at all. So I have a feeling he probably thought that about her. And then once the newspaper came out with all these reports, he was probably like, oh, she wasn't a prostitute. I just killed some random. Not that it should matter,
Right,
but
I mean,
So,
right?
so he was proud about it until he realized that he'd messed up.
He probably didn't care about it as much until he found out that she was a mother of 2 and not
That's
a
where the guilt
prostitute.
kicked in.
And maybe that's why he wrote this confession letter. It didn't say that anywhere in that, but I'm just kind of assuming that's what it was because he kept all the newspaper clippings from this murder, and there's nothing else but this one girl.
Just seems contrary to the crazy Annihilator and these other people that seem to indiscriminately just pick victims. It seems like he was actually, there was remorse. It bothered him that he had done this.
Yeah.
Enough
Right.
to
to
write
some
9
extent.
pages.
And
Yeah.
I mean, as creepy and shitty as it is to write this confession out, it does seem like these people were given some amount of closure.
But not
based on
enough. He
this.
didn't care enough to turn in the confession to the
Correct.
police.
Right. Assuming, I guess most people do, that when you die, all your shit's going to be gone through anyway, and somebody's going to, read all your deepest, darkest thoughts.
Wait, are you saying I
God, I
should
hope not.
delete my history and stuff on my computer or something? Because I mean, I make backups and just store them all around my house randomly.
I've been telling you that for months now.
Damn it! I really should listen to
But
this
yeah,
shit.
but seriously, okay. psyche in people who are inclined to believe in something other than death. Some people will try to imagine a way to getting absolution by just coming clean with their crimes.
That's what a lot of people said about it.
So it was probably this person's last ditch effort, and think of how mortal that is. Like, if I come clean with my deepest, darkest secret, I might have some kind of freedom in the next world. Absolution.
Correct.
Perfect, man daddy. That's what makes this so real.
People were saying that he was attempting to gain some type of absolution from writing this confession.
A lot of people made those comments. However, so in 2008, when they were reading through these letters, Detective Superintendent Ian Kimball, who led the new investigation, said there did not appear to be any remorse in the confession. It appears that he had intended to take his secret to the grave. And they said if he had still been alive, upon further handwriting analysis, he would have most likely been convicted of murder.
Really?
Anyways, guys, that not very remorseful confession letter from Angela kind of reminded me of this not very remorseful confession letter from this
I can
guy.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we gotta get going. All right.